thank you, Alex, so much for joining us. It's wonderful to have you. Very excited to talk to you for a little bit. So first question that we would have is, which languages have you learned throughout your life and why?
All right. Well, first of all, my name is Alex. So yeah, I will just try to answer the first question. To be honest, I speak fluently English and French, and also I have knowledge of the Vlach language, of course, even though it is not that fluent as English and French, but I'm keeping learning it, and so I've decided to study languages because it was my passion. So I've studied English and French at the Faculty of Philology, which was for translating and interpreting, and also I spent some time in France, in Corsica. So that's how I got better in talking French. So yeah, mainly those three languages, I would say, if you don't count the Macedonian language, of course.
I think we can count that one. I think so. It's 4 all in all, right? That's really impressive.
Yeah, well, you also know that Macedonians can also understand a lot of Serbian and Bulgarian and all those kind of languages. So, but usually we don't count them.
That's incredible. I was back in school. I was in my class. There were a couple of people from the Balkans, and I was always really impressed how they all kind of understood each other a little bit. So it's super fascinating. Okay, so 4 languages at least. What was it that drew you to English and French and Vlach? What's the story there?
You mean the stories why I decided to? Yeah, okay. I always thought that French language is the most beautiful language of all, and that's the main reason why I just followed my heart. So I didn't think of whether I will find work when I finish my studies, or what will I do with that after that. But I just wanted to learn it. English is it's the main language that everybody is using right now, nowadays. So I think it's you have to know it if you want, to travel the world, if you want to find a better job, or just to connect with people around the world. So yeah, there isn't any particular reason about English, but it just came on the way.
And for Vlach?
Yeah, Vlach language. Actually, my grandmother, she used to talk Vlach. She's Vlach. So it is a mother of my father. So from my father's side, my father is Vlach. My mother is Macedonian, and my grandmother used to talk only in Vlach language. So that was the thing when I was little, and she really was proud of that. And when I was little, I could understand everything that she was saying, and also could talk to her. But unfortunately, she passed away 20 years ago. So now I'm 32. Well, I was 12 when she passed away. So I didn't even had a chance to meet my grandfather because, he passed away when my father was 18. That's the main reason why actually I stopped learning after that, because I was very little. It was like a shock to me. So I didn't, just continue talking in that language. And usually at home we use Macedonian because, my mother is Macedonian. So it wasn't fair to communicate in that language. Although like 10 years ago or something, I just realized that I should, start learning it again, and also just to connect with that community again, to start writing songs and singing and all those things. And I feel like I entered that community again. So I was part of that, and now I'm becoming part again. Yes, I came back, and I met very lovely people that I didn't know, and throughout the music, we'll get to that later, but I really had a really great time in the past more than 10 years, I would say, visiting a couple of festivals and concerts, and I'm talking about Vlach language right now. So events organized by Vlach community, and it is really something special, and you feel like you're belonging in a special place, like special community.
That sounds amazing. I mean, just for the following your heart and studying French, I studied English. It's the reason why I did it. So I also worked as a translator for a bit. So I really feel you.
We have in common.
And also coming back to the language after a while, it's amazing. Was there like a particular moment where you were like, oh, I should get back into this? Or was it more of a slow, gradual kind of decision?
Well, it was more like there was a festival. It's called Fontana di Malama, like Golden Fountain. And it was organized a couple of years in a row. Well, the last one was in 2012. And what happened, we found out about that festival. And since I started singing, I used to play the guitar, and I didn't know that I have a voice for singing. And somehow I just found it. And then my father wrote a song in Vlach language, and we applied to that festival. So I wanted to present a song of mine. So I wrote music, my father wrote the lyrics, and we applied. And that's actually how I entered, again in that in the community, and also just got familiar with the people who are organizing, and also other Vlach people from around Macedonia, not only from Kruševo, the town of my father. And I got accepted. Well, they didn't accept my song, saying that, well, there are already songs written for this festival. So what we should do, you have great voice, so we really like you, singing and all. And we're very, surprised that another person showed up that sings, and wants to sing Vlach songs. And they actually wrote a song for me.
Wow, for you.
Yeah. So the lyrics was from a woman from Kruševo, a very nice lyrics. And well, I don't remember who wrote the music right now, but yeah, well, I can just check that later. And I really liked the music though, because when they called me to record it, they just asked me, well, just describe what kind of song you like. So what kind of person you are. We had like a small interview, just to see my character and what kind of music will suit me well. And I really liked it. It was kind of a rock and roll song. I think the only rock and roll song in the concert. So yeah, but that was 2012. So after my I finished high school then. So right after finishing high school then, I started, singing in Vlach again. And that's how it started. So after that, we just organized concerts every year in Kruševo, like during the summer, and inviting people from all around Macedonia just to come to show their talents. Usually young people, I would say. That was the idea.
Yeah, incredible. I mean, talk about like being accepted by a community, like just being given this gift, just like, oh, here's a song for you. I think that's just incredible. Wow. Okay. Amazing. Okay. Thank you so much. So moving on to the second question, we have a lot of them. So, so how would you introduce yourself in Vlach? Actually, you say Vlach, right? Not Aromanian. Aromanian is sort of from the outside.
I'm not sure, to be honest. I haven't spoken that much in English about the the Vlach community. Well, some say Aromanians. Well, Vlasi is in Macedonia, so that's why I say Vlach. Well, sure, yeah, but Aromanian is also correctly. So
okay, so I'm gonna say Vlach now since it's in. Since I'm talking to you. So how would you introduce yourself in Vlach?
All right. Well, you can check it on Google as well. So it says Vlach as well. So I hope I'm not mistaken.
I don't think so. I think it's just a very personal thing. Like for some people that we've talked to, I think they prefer the one thing or they prefer the other. So I just wanted to check.
Oh, okay. All right. Now I get it. All right. Well, short introduction. First of all, Bona Dea. Euesc cu Aleksandra Stankoska, băneț Skopje, cu familia mea. Ești cu marită și am fiișor de 3 ani. Armana ești cu deputată, care este de Krušova, mai mare cunoscută ca Saba armanește. El este de familia Dabija, cunoscută de epoca ilendeană. Eu am una grupă Bona Dea, cu care cântăm pe limbă armană și popularizăm cântecul armanesc și cultura armanescă. I think it's okay. I can translate it if you wish.
Yeah, maybe you could translate it quickly because I think you got some bits, but it was like a puzzle, you know. Like I some
right.
bits, and I was like, "Oh, is this what she's saying?"
Yeah, if you are familiar with some Roman roots, languages with Roman roots, that will be so Latin. I mean, yeah. Well, hi, my name is Aleksandra Stankoska. I live in Skopje with my family. I'm married and I have a little boy of 3 years old. Jan, his name is Jan. I'm a Vlach from my father's side. He's from Kruševo. The most I would say famous town in I would say about the Vlach community. He comes from a family Dabija, so that's the Vlach name of Vlach surname of my family, and is very popular from the Ilinden uprising time. So that's 1903. They were part of the Ilinden uprising as well. I have a group which is named Bona Dea, and we used to sing in Vlach language, and also we try to to make it popular, the Aromanian language and also the culture of Vlach people.
Okay, I got some of that, but definitely not all of it. So thank you for the translation.
No problem.
So next question actually is related to this because I'm just curious, what happens in your brain when you switch from one language to the other?
Well, usually it's like a stew of languages.
A stew?
I call it that way.
I love that. I sometimes think of my brain as a soup, so I relate.
Pretty much that, yeah. I have one anecdote though. It's very short. Well, this is with English and French, so it's not with Vlach. But however, when I lived in Corsica, and I just stumbled upon a bunch of tourists speaking English, and I used to speak French, all those months previously, and they asked me where the bank is, where the bank was. And I told them, well, just go straight ahead and tourner à gauche, and you will see the bank. And they were all with question marks, like, all right. Not sure if I understand this thing.
It just came out like super mixed.
But yeah, it was fun.
That's amazing. Actually, because I tutored kids for a while as well, and there was this drawing that we had of a person, and we asked the kids, because a lot of them were immigrant kids, where they would put their languages in the body. Mm-hmm. And I thought that was also a really interesting question, because some put, their mother tongue and like their mouth, some put it at their hands or their feet or in their bloodstream. It was really interesting to see where they placed their languages. Like, where would you say is Vlach for you in the body? Just
well, I can be romantic. It's in my heart.
Oh, yeah, I love that. Yeah, okay. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. So moving on from the romance, the next question is quite romantic as well. For you, what is the most beautiful word in Vlach?
Well, it's still romantic. Yeah. Well, I would say it's more like a phrase, "Vruta mea." It's like my beloved one.
Oh, like a pet name for a friend or for a lover.
Well, more for a lover, I would say.
Is that what you call your husband?
No, he calls me that way.
Ah. That is really cute. Okay, so I see why it's your favorite word then. Yeah. What do you think is the ugliest word in Vlach?
Well, I thought a lot about this, and first of all, yeah, I couldn't find it, but then I just remembered when I was little and I was visiting Kruševo, my grandmother, she used to live there, and well, I was very energetic child, and I used to bring children, to our home and just to make a lot of noise, and she was arguing with me about that. So because she wanted to, to be
peace and quiet.
And she used to call me Glaruna, like you dummy.
Oh. Okay, so it's like an ugly word, but with a cute history.
Well, yeah, Not that beautiful word, but yeah.
I think my grandmother has a similar word actually in my language. So
Oh, what is it?
I think there's a lot of words actually for dummy, I think, in our language. But I think actually the one word that came to mind for me is klumpert, which is not a person, but it's like a useless thing. So every time she got annoyed at something, she'd be like, so ein klumpert, just like, and I think that's a very word, right? It just sounds very big.
Yeah, it sounds. Indeed.
Grandmothers. Yeah, okay. Is there a Vlach word that you know does not exist in other languages?
I would skip this one.
Okay.
I really don't know.
It's really difficult to think about. It's just some languages I think are just known for it. Like in Portuguese, for example, they have the saudade, and that's like part of the marketing even of Portuguese. But there is nothing like that for Vlach that you can immediately.
I can remember in Macedonian though, or maybe some of the other interviewers share it, like promaya. Promaya is when there is a wind from this window and this window, and just blows it away, and then you have problems with your back. So
that's so specific. Does that happen a lot?
That happens a lot. Yeah, when you have problems with your back, it's always promaya. It's especially the older people, they know what is it. Well, did you sleep with an open window, or maybe you drove a car with open windows? That's the reason why that happened.
Okay, right. So promaya is not the pain; it's the wind.
It's the wind. Yes.
The wind. Interesting.
Like a type of wind. It's not a breeze, but it's more like a stronger wind that flows from both sides. But what I couldn't find word in English to be specific, and I've shared this with a lot of people from around the world, and nobody seemed to have that word in there. Probably it's a cultural thing or something.
Probably. Like there's two things from German that I could think of. Like one is Durchzug, which is kind of if you're opening all the windows because you want to have like a proper air out,
Promaya.
Kind of that. And we also have Stoßlüften, which we're kind of famous for, where it's like every hour or something you have to open the windows for a little bit so fresh air comes in. And people are always a bit confused when they come to Austria or to Germany because they're like, why are you opening the window all the time? And it's just like, we need air. We need to, So I guess it's in that direction, but I've never heard of the pain associated with it. That's interesting.
Yeah, well, this is a bad thing. It's not a good thing.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you. So do you know a tongue twister in Vlach?
Yeah, I have one that my grandmother used to say it. But before saying it, I just want to give you a picture of what kind of a grandmother I had. So she didn't actually enjoy much of cleaning the house or washing the dishes or things like that, but she was all music. She was only singing without a music at all. So she was just clapping her hands and singing, and while she was alone at her home. So sometimes it happened for us to come from Skopje to go to Kruševo and don't say just don't say that we are going to do that. So she didn't know about that. And when you enter the yard and you just hear her clapping and singing, just sitting alone in the living room and singing. It was very, very interesting, And I think that sometimes she just came up with her own lyrics and her own songs, or like these phrases or something. And I'm not sure if this exists actually in the language as officially, but she used to say like Marika nu știe să zică că este multă mică.
That sounds difficult.
Yeah. Try to say it fast. Marika nu știe să zică că este multă mică.
Jesus. What does it mean?
Well, literally, if you wanted to translate it, is like she was too little to know how to say it. So Marika is very little, and she is not talking properly. So because she doesn't know the language, because she's very small, like 3 years old, for example, let's say, and she doesn't know how to say something properly. So she was very small, and she didn't know how to say it. So that's the literal, I would say, translation.
That's so cute. I mean, I think no 3-year-old could say this because it's just too complicated. So is it, I wonder with Marika, is it like a diminutive or is it a proper name?
Well, it's a proper name.
Okay.
It's a proper name, yes. But it sounds like diminutive.
Like a small child.
Like a Marika, like a small child, yeah.
Right, okay. Do you remember, I'm sure you're going to have a lot to say about this next question. Do you remember a song, a poem, or a story that your grandparents or all the community members taught you or told you about?
Well, I'll just say a very short phrase of a song, which also my grandmother used to sing it a lot, and it kept in my mind until these days. So after 20 years. And I think that she came up with this as well. So because I've asked a couple of people from Aromanians if they know this, and nobody knew this. So I suppose that it was her own idea, and she used to sing it. Well, I will put a little melody in this. So it was like a poem, and it goes like this. Când își eram mică, iubușare aveam frică, doresc mare, nu am suturare. And that means when I was little, I was afraid of kissing. And now that I've grown, I just can't get enough.
It's so cute. It sounded so sad when you sang it, I was just like, oh, it must be about, I don't know, somebody leaving home and never coming back, but it's about kissing.
It's about kissing. and at the time I didn't also understand, like, my grandma, like, grandma, what are you singing? And then she translated it, and I was like, okay. It's weird when your grandma is singing.
You kind of don't want to think about that too much, yeah. Was there a point in your own life as well where you were like, oh, I get it now? Like
now I get it, but back at the time it's kissing. Ew.
Yeah. Grandma.
And about also about stories, anecdotes, about some neighbors, some things that happen between people. Like I'm talking about Kruševo right now all the time because, I spent almost my whole childhood until I got 6 years old there. Like we were staying there with my mother for like 5-6 months during the summer months, and I spent a lot of time with my grandmother, when I was there in Kruševo, and she was talking a lot, and she was always telling some stories about some neighbors or about people who used to live here or there, some funny stories, especially stories between Vlachs and Macedonians, because it's mixed community in Kruševo. Right. So there are Vlachs there and also Macedonians, and she used to tell like funny stories. I can share like I have 3, very short. I'm not gonna name the people who did this because this happened. Well, some of them maybe will find themselves, some grandchildren if they listen to this interview. But there is a story, for example. So their neighbors, like Vlach and Vlach's son, he gets married, and he gets married with a Macedonian woman. All right. And so the bride is Macedonian, and they go to Kruševo to meet her mother-in-law, of course. And they are having lunch, they're having a great time, and they leave to Skopje. And the next day, the neighbors are very curious to hear how the lunch went, and how is the new daughter-in-law. And what happened? They're asking, the mother-in-law. So, what happened? Did you like her? How was she? And things like that. And she said, it was great. Sure, it was great. But there is one thing, when she came here, she just said, welcome in Macedonian, like Dobre dojdovte, and not Gine vinit, like in Vlach.
Oh.
And She was disappointed because, her
That meant a lot to her.
mother didn't welcome her in her own language, in Black language. So just welcome in Macedonian.
It's interesting.
And this happened a lot, I remember, because also my grandmother was Vlach, and my mother is Macedonian. So yeah, they used to have those kind of arguments, and she used to talk in her own language. So they
Did
could
your
have.
mother say welcome in the right language the first time she came out?
Yeah, I should ask her. I don't know about it. So there is another anecdote with Grandma Meni. Meni is a very common name in Crucial and also between the Black community. So she, I remember this because I was little, and she didn't know how to say rooster in Macedonian.
Right.
And she lost her rooster because back then people kept chickens, and all those kind of domestic animals, and she was just looking for her rooster, and she was asking, "Oh, where is my male chicken? I lost my male chicken."
Oh no.
It was so funny. That's another story that I remember. And also there is a story. This is the most funny one. So they're neighbors, Macedonian man and Vlach woman, and he used to have apples, apple tree in his yard, and it was very close to the other yard, to the woman, and the apples just. They started falling down, and she kept them, and he goes to her and asks, like, these are my apples, so you should return them to me. And she says, well, they fell in my yard, so now they're mine. And this really happened. And one day he jumped over the fence, into her yard and said, well, I fell into your yard too, so now I'm yours, take me.
What? Did they get married? Did it work?
No.
That would have been wild. I mean,
This is like a joke. Well, it happened. Yeah. And my father used to say this story. Well, he has a lot of stories like this from my grandmother as well. And when we gather, we have drinks, just lunch and so. And he used to, well, he's still repeating all these kind of stories, which are very funny.
and that's amazing. And I have to say, I think your grandmother and my grandmother would get along. Like my grandma always constantly sings wherever she goes, and she tells me stories about the neighbors and stuff that they drop in her garden. So I think it's just, yep.
And know everything about everyone.
Of course. And people just walk by, and it's just like, oh, did you hear that the son of the, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So your father actually, does he also speak Vlach then?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, so you too, do you talk in Vlach or do you talk in Aromanian?
Well, it's the same language.
Oh, sorry, do you talk in Vlach or do you talk in Macedonian?
Well, mostly no. Usually, when we write songs, well, that's when we actually sit down and, all right, well, I have an idea, he will just share some lyrics, I write the music, sometimes we just argue, should be this, written like this or that, or, because, we'll get to that later as well, but, well, probably that the Vlach language is not codified yet, so there are, a lot of different words that people use and just put Macedonian words in it, just make them sound like Vlach language, and and it happens everywhere. So in every country, like you go and meet other Vlach people, they just use words from their own mother country, and just to, because there are some gaps that they need to fulfill. And well, that's the main I would say, like, an issue when we talk about the language, and there are a lot of negotiatings. Should use this word or this word, and some, because also the eastern part of Macedonia, people from there, they also speak slightly differently than the ones who live in the western part. So yeah, sometimes they just have some arguments about that. So should we use this word or this, or this accent, or well, yeah.
All the nitty-gritty stuff, basically. Okay.
Which are not needed, if you ask me, but yeah, well, people do that.
Yes, it's a bit like Aromanian is like the music language for you and your dad.
The music language, yeah, you put it very well.
That's beautiful. Okay. So next question. What can be difficult when learning Vlach?
Well, I just
Apart from what you just mentioned.
Yeah, I just mentioned. Yeah, well, I think that's well. Also, the pronunciation is not there. It's not very. I would say not very easy. There are really some words that just you twist your tongue to pronounce it. But part of that, I think that's it. That is not codified. Also, I think that it should be also learned in schools as well. There is a school in Kruševo that young children from first grade they start learning it, but it's not obligatory. So you can just you can choose it if you want to learn it or not. And well, I think there should be more schools that will provide Vlach language as well, because more and more there are like mixed marriages, and people just talk Macedonian, which is we live in this country, so it's very common, and younger people just kind of start they start losing it, and I think that's the main problem. And also grandparents, well, unfortunately, my grandparents died when I was very young, and I miss that. So I'm sure that we would have like a more how to say continuously using it in my family if my grandparents were alive. But yeah, that's the situation, unfortunately.
We actually saw that in another community when we went to the Seto in Estonia. There was also a big communication gap. And what they did, which I found was really cute, was they just started a kindergarten and they have a Seto grandfather who comes by and speaks with the children.
Well, sure. Yes. Yeah. Well, that's a very great idea.
Yeah. I thought it was so cute. It's like a mandated grandfather for the day. This is now your grandfather. Here you go.
Yes. Yeah. Well, a lot of older people just sit at home. They don't know what to do. So it will be very stimulating for them as well.
Absolutely. And the kids get something from it. The older people get something from it. It's a win-win. So maybe could you tell me one of the most difficult words to pronounce? I'm just curious.
Oof. When I had my song, for example, written for Fontana di Malama, and it was a part when you light the light. How is the expression? You turn on the light.
Oh, right.
Lunina, and I couldn't just say I was like, what is it? And we were recording it again and again and again.
Aprun.
Probably that's it.
Oh my god, that is intense. Okay, yeah. I see how you need to practice for that. Yeah. Okay. And what would you say is one of your favorite sayings in Vlach? Like, don't judge a book by its cover, or the signs.
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure if I have like that, like a saying like that. I would say, well, it is still very romantic related, so it's romantic.
You're a musician. I think you're allowed to be romantic.
We have one saying that we used to just make jokes with my dad, because a couple of years ago, my uncle, well, the whole family from my grandmother's side moved to Belgrade in Serbia. And she was the only one who stayed in Kruševo and got married there. And well, back at that time, her parents, so my great grandparents, parents, I'm talking about them right now. My great grandfather, he used to work abroad, so in Serbia, and then they moved, but she stayed. And we found letters. He was called Vangel, and my great grandmother Calliopa. And we found letters, but now they're I think they're with my uncle, with my uncles in Belgrade. He found them and he took them with himself. And letters, while he was working abroad, he was writing letters in Aromanian language and sending those letters to Calliopa in Kruševo. And he started each letter with this sentence: "Gine te aflai a mea vruta nikukira Calliopa." And that means, "I'm so happy to find you, my sweetest or beloved lady of the house, Calliopa."
Every letter?
Every letter. So there are a bunch of letters. I don't know how many are there, but this is something that, my father used to just to talk about this a lot. And when he comes, when he visits me in my home, when he comes here, very often we make this joke, like, "Gine te aflai a mea vruta nikukira Aleksandra."
So it goes from generation to generation now. That's lovely.
But it's, joke on side, it's a proof that actually, back at a time, people used to communicate in Aromanian, and they were actually well educated, and because they were writing in this language and they were talking it, and also it shows very, very good manners, I would say, like a gentleman manners. It's
so genteel, like it's very much like wow. And just also a really nice glimpse into their relationship, right? It's just sweet.
Yeah. Well, they have 5 children. You can imagine.
Gotta come from somewhere. That's amazing. Okay, thank you for sharing those stories. So we're now going to delve a bit more into your story. You already talked a little bit about it, but how would you explain growing up in your community to somebody who has not experienced it?
All right. I had a chance to meet that community, especially in Kruševo. So I didn't know a lot of Vlach people in Skopje back at the time. So I saw the big difference between the big city and the small town, and what happens also between Vlachs and Macedonians and the different mentality that they have. I was very surprised because especially in Kruševo, people pay a lot of attention to which family you come from, also who are your ancestors, of course, Nelly, how much Aromanian you are or how much you are not. So, how much Vlach heritage you have or you don't have, or are both of your parents Vlach or only one, which neighborhood you live in. So there are a lot of things like that when I was staying in Kruševo, and it was very interesting. It was something that I couldn't experience it while I was living in Skopje. And I think that exists in many smaller towns, especially. Let's say Kruševo counted around 5,000 people at the time, and now I think they're around 2,000. So pretty small town.
Yeah.
And this was the main issues I think that I stumbled upon. So when you go out, even when you go out and have a drink with with people at your age, I'm 20, and we're talking about families and heritage and things like that, which is it's
different. Yeah, they're very different than in the big city for sure.
And the most important thing that I wanted to mention, for example, when you're a teenager and you sympathize someone, so you like someone, and you have to ask your parents, which family he comes from, and maybe your relatives at some point.
Oh, that's true.
It's very small. And that's how your parents find out, who you like at the moment. But it's inevitable, so you have to ask them.
That's true. That is true. I think it's also in Iceland, right, where they have this app so you can check if you're actually related, just in case.
Well,
That's-
yeah, now, yeah, modern times, but back then well, I didn't have a phone.
My God. Huh. I'm actually really interested in this because we've noticed this in other communities as well, is this really strong sort of ancestral heritage and how much that matters. Do you think it was more of a curiosity, or do you think it's really like a value check almost? Because we've noticed in some communities it's very difficult for people who are not from that community to start learning the language, because they say, well, you're not really one of us, like you don't really belong here. So is it that level, or is it more like, oh, well,
It depends on the family.
Mm.
It depends on the family and how they were raised. So yeah, some of the older, I would say, some grandparents are really tough about that. As the anecdote I said about the mother-in-law and the daughter-in-law. So well, it all depends. So I cannot say that they're this way or that way.
Mm.
But I think it was more like, it is better when your child is seeing someone who you're familiar with, right? So it's
Unless you are related.
well, not related, of course. But it's like it's safer, you know where your child is going and who is meeting with. So just you sleep. I think you sleep better that way.
Mm. But like for example, when your father started seeing your mother, it wasn't like that was a huge deal breaker for.
That was a huge shock.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, they have quite a story. Yes. Well, my mother comes from the eastern part, from Stip. That's in the eastern part of. There are a lot of Aromanians there, but yeah, she's not an Aromanian, and that was a huge deal in our family. So yeah.
So it is still very sort of our community, and then people from outside.
Well, my grandmother was like that, so
Okay.
they didn't get along that well, I would say, while she was alive.
Well, it is. I think it's interesting because I think on the one hand, it's something that you kind of need to keep these communities alive, to be very, protective of what you have. But at the same time, it also makes it a bit difficult for people to come in and share, right? So it's kind of a.
Well, that's why when I was growing up, I had mixed feelings. So I didn't know if I want to be Aromanian or if I don't want to be, or because there were a lot of I've seen like arguments and things like that, and I was confused.
I mean, you've really seen both sides, right? So that's
well, I got more mature. Later I grew up and I got mature, and I realized that that's very great heritage that we have, and we should take care of it, because
yeah, of course. No, I also meant you've seen both sides, like from the Macedonian standpoint and also the Vlach standpoint. Oh, yeah. You've seen
the full picture.
The full picture, yeah. That's interesting. Do you, since we're talking about Kruševo, do you have a favorite place in Kruševo?
Favorite place will be, I would say, my home.
That's fair.
Because the house is located on the highest point on the hill, and you can see the whole city from up there, and you can see part of Pelagonia Valley down there. So I see part of Prilep town, and it's like starry sky beneath you, especially at night. It's very like isolated and very beautiful. But people used to make jokes about it, as I said previously. So which neighborhood you're coming from, and my neighborhood was called like the forbidden neighborhood.
Oh, because it's so far away, or
yeah, it's not in the center. Yeah, but everything is five minutes walking, right? So we're talking about Kruševo.
The forbidden place.
Forbidden place. Yeah, and I'm making jokes. Yeah, but I can see you.
It's so interesting. Like some things I think are just always the same with humans. It's like, because I live in a 21st district in Vienna, and it's across the Danube. and it's also like the forbidden place, basically. You know,
Oh, it's on the other side of Danube.
that's proper Vienna, and over here it's like they call it Mordor, like in Lord of the Rings. You know, it's like it's
Yeah, basically the same story.
fascinating. Okay, and do you have a favorite Vlach recipe or food?
Oof, I had to Google this because I didn't know. I didn't know. To be honest, I didn't know how to explain it in English.
Okay.
It's delicate. During Easter, the Easter, the feast, almost every family, this was when I was little, I'm not sure if they still keep this tradition, but every house used to cook a lamb. So we're talking about lamb meat, and this dish was called kukurek, kukurezi, and kukurek is basically, don't get confused, but it's made by braiding lamb intestines, lungs, and tripe cut into strips. So it's
like braiding, like with hair.
No, braiding lamb intestine, braiding like you have the intestines, and you fill them with meat, with the internal organs.
Okay. Interesting.
You can put some rice there. You can put, some vegetables, but usually no. But rice, yes, sometimes. And yeah, it's disgusting, but it's delicious.
Okay, so it tastes good, actually.
Good, but you don't want to see, how it is prepared. You don't want to see that.
I think that's the case with a lot of things, right? Like, especially, I think especially in older generations, like I remember my great-grand aunt loved to eat brain, just brain.
Yes, well, the brain is one of the tastiest.
I have been told.
As well. We'll get sued by this non-governmental organization.
No, I don't think so.
Protecting the animals.
I think a lot of people do talk about this, right? It's like if you think about it too hard, you don't. But it apparently tastes really good. So
yes, yeah. So don't think about it. And, well, apart from that, kukurek, there is also pie, Krushevo pie. We call it pie from Krushevo. I would say it's also traditional pastry. It's filled with meat, rice, some spices. That's it, and it's very delicious.
Is it like a big pie or is it like a small pie?
Like a big pie. Yeah, for a whole family. So it's
like a lasagna, kind of.
Yeah, but it's with a homemade, a homemade pastry.
It sounds so good.
Yes.
I am getting a bit hungry. Okay, so Alex, how would you describe your job?
Well, all right. I have a couple of jobs though. I was a musician, like professional musicians for many years. I didn't finish music school though, but I went to private school, guitar school. Also, we used to learn theory there and all those things. So I have like a lot of knowledge about music, not only playing, but I write notes and read them and so. I used to be a musician for many years and work in a private school. I was teaching small children guitar as well. Later on, I became a tourist guide with English and French. And I used to work as a tourist guide for 3 years. But then Corona happened, And yes, and I had to find a suitable job online, of course, because I just couldn't practice my music. Also, there weren't any tourists at all, and so I had to find something, which is not that much related with people. But fortunately, I found a profession that is also connected with people, but I can work it online, which is the perfect combination. So a part of being a musician and also a tourist guide, which I'm still doing it after the Corona. I'm also a recruiter. I work for a Dutch company as a recruiter, and it's mainly European market. So we just recruit different kind of profiles from Europe, Asia, as well, USA, India, well, you name it. So different kind of markets. And usually I'm doing interviews like this.
Oh, really?
I'm the interviewer in that case.
I can tell that you're very practiced at this. Like it flows very nically. So thank you for your expertise.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, but yeah, I'm not used to
Being on
giving.
the other side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's my profession right now, and yeah, I'm very happy that I still practice music, so I didn't give up of that, and yeah.
Well, we still have many questions to get through. I think I just want to check for time. Is it okay for you if we do like 10 minutes over for, or do you have to leave? Like, okay.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Depending on that, I would go in depth or more like check.
No, it depends on your time as well. So if you have time, it's
I have time. Absolutely. Then, how would you define success?
all right. Well, this is a very difficult question.
Yes.
I would say when you do something, even though sometimes during our lives, sometimes we are doing something that we don't like that much, right? So not everybody has the dream job. All right. So I say no matter what you do, you should do it 100%, and you should give yourself in 100% and do it with your heart, and because it will pay off at some point. Maybe not right now, but giving yourself 100%, you are learning, and also you're receiving a lot of feedback. Well, that's how it goes. And maybe after a couple of years, you will just remember what you learned back then with a job that you didn't like, but you can implement it somehow now, after all these years. So that's my motto. And not that I've always had my dream jobs, but I always tend to give 100% of myself, and I see a lot of great feedback about that, and people receive it very, very well, because if you do that now and that's it, that's the thing you are doing it, you should just doing it, as best as you can.
I agree completely. And I think it's so interesting how sometimes you do something and you think it's not going to go anywhere. And then 10 years later, you're like, oh, it's the thing that I did 10 years ago.
Yes.
It's incredible, right?
Yes.
It always comes back in some way.
That's basically the success.
Yeah.
Well, the success is inevitable, but it might not happen right now, but it will happen after a couple of years. And if you believe in that, I think it will happen to you. So, you just have to believe in that.
And I can tell, like, you're definitely somebody who really gives yourself to your projects. Like, that's
yeah, you can say.
So just talking about your musical career now, what would you say like were the highlights of your musical career?
It is mostly related to people I've met in the past years, because the music just opens a whole new window, of my life, and I've been surrounded only with different types of people, artists, musicians, different kind of people who like art and who like different kind of stuff, and those are very specific people, very unique, and you always learn something from them, because they're interesting people, to have communication with, to change ideas and so, and you get inspired by them. So I've also am very proud of myself that I write my own music together with my band, of course, and not that we only perform other type of music, just to sing songs that already exist, but we also have our own songs, especially in Aromanian language, which is I'm very proud of, because it is very rare nowadays young people to write music, especially in a language the minority that is using, and I really hope that this might be one of my proudest things within the music, it is normally you have concerts, you perform on this concert, on that concert. Well, that's okay, and that's really something that I'm also proud of. I'm not gonna name all the festivals that we've played so far, but especially writing music in Vlach language, which my father helps me a lot, and that is something that I really want to keep doing it. And if if it's possible to record a CD with those new songs that we write, and something to just to leave behind, and maybe in 100 years, who knows, maybe other younger people from the Vlach community, they will sing our songs. It will be like a heritage left to them. So I think that's one of my proudest things related to the Vlach community.
I found this phrase the other day, which was success is not a destination, it's a journey. And I think you really described that just now. Like it's all about the creating, it's about the being there. And actually, the last thing that you mentioned, we interviewed somebody from the Burgenland Croatian community, and they started a band, and they were the first big band over there. And they're quite old now. I think he would agree even. And he told us one of his proudest moments when he looked back was he was just somewhere, the window was open, and he heard young people walking past, and they were singing their songs.
Their songs. Wow, that's so nice.
So it's kind of exactly what you've just described as well, right? It's just you want to leave a bit of a legacy, right? Something.
Yes, yeah. Well, there are a couple of people who know our songs. Well, when we perform to these events like Rise Up, the event that was now, and I've noticed that some people are singing our songs because most of the songs were ours. That's Elena's father is also writing songs. Elena Djika, that was performing with me as well, and well, he has a lot of songs that are not played, and we talked about this. So we should do kind of CD, maybe more CDs, but because there are a lot of songs just they just stay in the drawer and they should be taken out.
Absolutely. Actually, one thing that we're working on in Rise Up right now is also the artist page, where we want to highlight the artists, and these interviews also go up there. Right. And so if it's possible, we also definitely want to link to like your YouTube and whatnot. So if you then at that point already have a CD, then we can link to that as well.
Well, I'll have this in mind, and when we have it, then I will share it with you.
Please do. It sounds amazing. Okay, next question. If you could go back in time, is there anything that you would do differently?
So related to my music or my profession or education, I wouldn't change anything. So I'm pretty happy at what I achieved so far. I would spend more time with my grandparents because I was very young. Teenager, I would say, and the beginning of the teenage age, and I wanted to go out with people, and so on. I didn't spend that much time with my grandparents, especially the grandmother from Khrushchev, as I mentioned. She had a lot of stories, a lot of songs that there are some that I remember, but there are some lost, and I really wish to have spend more time and to learn more about the Aromanian community and the language, and more anecdotes that I shared, and so she was very famous for that, and a lot of journalists actually visited our home when I was young just to record her. And there are some recordings out there, but I don't know. I don't know those people because I was very young, and who could have thought, just to ask, hey, can you send us the recording after that, or where can I find you? Who are you? And those are just like a vague faces that visited our home, and they just recorded her, just to sing some Vlach songs that nobody else knows, or just to keep this somewhere in some archives. But my father used to travel a lot via work, and so nobody thought that she will pass away that young, and and all of that knowledge will be lost. And now
you don't know which archives those are or which journalists those were.
No. And there are a lot. They were just visiting our, like through the summer, maybe 5 or 6 journalists will visit our home, and they were just recording the audio. There were some with the camera, but that's something that I just remember very, very vaguely. I was very, very, very small. And I was curious, I was just standing behind the door, just seeing, what is happening, why my grandma is singing, and they're recording, and they just, well, I don't know where are those recordings, but that's something that I would change definitely. I would try to find these people.
I really hope that you will find them. I mean, it sounds like there's just a treasure out there waiting for you to find it. That's
many years ago, so I don't have a lot of hope here, but
they must be somewhere. I mean, and some
must be somewhere.
Yeah.
Yes. We'll see. But I would change that definitely.
So talking of the Aromanian community and also the art community, what role would you say has community played in your life?
Yeah, well, I mentioned a couple of times now. It had a very big role in my life. Well, especially when you relate music to this community, because the community is very small. Let's be real. And you feel very much accepted in this community, and I felt like I have something special. And when I go to these events, when I meet these people and sing in this language, I feel very appreciated. That's the first thing that I feel. And then I feel accepted, which is something that we all look for, right? I think that in no matter which community you live, everybody want to be accepted somewhere. And I think that's the most, like, the strongest thing that I feel.
And you probably also, through your music, probably stretch that acceptance forward, right? So it's given to you, and then you pay it back.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm known for. So sometimes when we sing on these festivals, like organized by Aromanians, and there are small children that come and, can I have your autograph? Wow. And I'm like, I'm giving autographs right now. So I'm famous among the Vlach community.
I'm sure that means a lot to them. Like, I'm sure they go home with it and they're just like,
it happened a couple of times. Or some parents come by and say, I'm listening to your music on YouTube. I play it to my kids. Your song from Fontana di Malama, I play it to my kids and they know it. And I'm like, okay, this is so fun.
That's amazing. And I also just really love how, your grandmother's sort of singing spirit has survived in you. Like,
yes.
That's amazing. Okay, so talking more about the art, who are 3 of your artistic heroes and role models?
Should they be Romanians or?
But they don't have to be.
They don't have to be. All right. Artistic models. It's very difficult to say. This is a difficult question. I used to listen to a lot of rock music, rock, metal, Metallica, Guns N' Roses, and things like that. So I don't know. Can I skip this one?
I think you already gave me 2, so.
All right. Well, yeah. Well, if that counts, well, I like different kind of music, not only rock and metal and things, but I like blues music. My favorite guitarist is Stevie Ray Vaughan. A lot of people know him, but I like his sound, and also, yeah, that was my inspiration to start learning guitar at first. He was my inspiration. I like Simply Red. I like a lot of Macedonian bands, though. So there are a lot of young bands that needs to go out there, and show themselves, among the other artists around the world, like Feng Shui, like Pluto's Doubts, or, well, Alembic, there are minstrels gallery. So a lot of young artists that I really appreciate, and I think there is a lot of music in Macedonia, and young people who just invest in themselves, and they don't have sponsors, they don't have some help from the ministry, or so they just finance themselves, and that's how they they bring out cities, or they go to concerts, and festivals, and show themselves. But there's a lot of music in Macedonia, a lot of young bands, and these are all inspiration too.
Of course, because you're kind of part of the same wave, right? Like you're riding that. Yeah. Talking of blues, have you seen Sinners, the movie?
Which one?
Sinners.
Not
It's
sure.
It's out in theaters right now, and it's about blues music. I think you might like it. It's also vampires, but it's really cool.
It's kind of a new movie, or
very new. Yeah, I think it came out a month ago or something. But it's about the power of blues. Like there is one scene in it that is just mind-blowingly amazing.
All right. I should look at it. Yeah, I haven't heard about it yet, but yeah, I'll check it. For sure.
Actually leads nicely to the next question, which is, can you remember a moment that made you fall in love with music?
Since I was little. Okay. Well, my grandfather used to play the pipe and the bagpipe as well. So this is from my mother's side, and he was to play the bagpipe. And also, I remember him playing on a tree leaf. Can you imagine? Well, he could play on everything, which is related, like with his mouth. And he was very talented. And also the other grandfather from my father's side, which I haven't met, but he used to play the accordion as well. And people remember him, by gathering all people around and playing his accordion. And also I have an aunt who is a music teacher. So I was pretty much, surrounded by musicians while I was small. And well, I remember, being surrounded with music and playing music since I was little. So I just cannot pick a moment, it was always there.
Like air.
It was always there. And my parents always tell me that, well, you used to sing before you even talk. Well, there is a phrase like that in Abba's song. He used to sing before he started talking. So I was always surrounded by music. And now that happens with my son as well. So he doesn't talk yet, but he sings. It's very funny.
You probably have a musical something that's passed down.
DNA.
So what would you consider the essential Alex? Like if anybody could only listen to 5 of your works, what should they be?
Essential Alex. People who don't know me, before they hear my music, they think that they will hear some very loud, rude rock and roll, or that kind of music, that probably they have that kind of impression. And when they hear my music, they're like, oh, this is something else. This is kind of mixture of pop, blues, jazz, some sensibilities there, and your voice is rough, but it's very romantic, or well, this I'm just saying things that things that people said to me. So these are not my words. And that's how I realized how people actually feel my music, and it's very interesting because that's something that's that's me. And I don't see myself as a rude person, or not rude, but the like more masculine, or tough girl.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, my voice might sound a little bit tougher, but like deep voice. I have deep voice, but yeah, there is a lot of sensibility in my music, and I really like blues music. So I think that I will continue going that way, like blues, jazz.
I mean, low voices are perfect for the blues, right? It's
Yes.
just, yeah. So if I had a friend and my friend was like, I want to get into Alex, what 5 songs would they have to listen to?
To get to know me or to reach out to me?
To like get an idea of your sound.
Of my sound. All right. Okay. I can name artists.
No, of yours. Like 5 of your songs.
Of mine. All right. I didn't understand the question.
No worries.
Well, okay. First, you should listen to. Oh, I need to translate this. Ljubavni rani Kruševo leči. This song is about Kruševo again, because I grew up there, and well, as you can imagine, as a teenager, you fall in love, and then you argue, and then, this things happen a lot when you're a teenager. So there is a song that says that your woods from love woods. Can I say it that way?
Mhm.
So Kruševo can heal your love woods. If if you're hurt by someone, go in Kruševo and you will be healed.
I see.
That's
Okay.
the lyrics of the song. And I'm explaining about different places, the woods, the woods there, and also some place, I'm mentioning some specific places, in Kruševo, and you walk by the streets and you breathe the air, and, you just feel healed. And, and because it's a very beautiful town, I'm in love with Kruševo. For me, it's maybe the most beautiful town I've ever been, and I have a lot of great memories from there. And this is the first song that I would recommend. There's a song called "My Baby." Well, it's in Macedonian, "Moja baby," and it's purely blues song with 3 chords, pentatonic, and well, that's also all songs are related to something. Something happened and it struck me very, very, strong, and then I wrote the song. And it's also about those kind of foolish loves, when platonic loves when you're young. But I like it a lot. The Vlach songs as well. There is a song that we wrote together with my father. It's called Una, Dao, Trei, 1, 2, 3. And it sings about the Vlach community, the Aromanians in around the world. And it says that, there are people who are very rich, people who build high palaces, people who, spin the world around, and all that. But we are happy when we sing in a Romanian language. So that's our happiness. And we count from 1 to 10. That's the song. And it's very interesting, especially for small children who are starting to learn, to learn the language, and they can learn the numbers from 1 to 10, with that song.
They can sing along.
And they can sing along. Yes, it's very interesting. There's a song that we wrote together with Maria Droga, Maria, who sings with me as well. Vruta Mea, you already heard it. So we sang at the Rise Up event, and it's one of my favorites, I would say. So it was her idea, this song, and well, I had also contribution in that, but I don't know, it's one of my favorites, I would say, in Romanian. And well, the 5th one, this is very difficult. Let's say Maro Maridze. Very dynamic. It sounds more like Mexican. My father wrote it. And even though my mother is called Stefka, but you cannot sing Stefka, Stefkice, it's so she became Mara.
It's easier to rhyme too, right?
Yeah, and I wrote the music. It's my father's lyrics, and it's well, we played it at the event, and also we play it everywhere, and that's a very famous song. Everybody likes it. Yeah, it's very happy song.
Ah. So I hope that we can link to all of these songs in your artist profile so that people can.
They're all put on YouTube,
Nice.
so I can share some links, and they're all different. So we have blues, we have pop, we have like a Mexican mix or something. We have like a more folk oriented song. Una da otra is more. It sounds more like folk music, but
Mm.
it's still very interesting, even for the younger people.
I mean, it really sounds like you have a palette of styles. We've kind of actually already talked about the next, I think, 3 questions because it's all about style and what inspires you. So maybe just jumping ahead a little bit, where do
Yes.
you see your work going in the next 10 years?
I don't believe that I will become very famous in Macedonia
Well,
as an artist. No, it's well, we have a scene, but I'm talking about the underground scene. So there we are kind of known. We know people from those grounds, but I'm talking about the public scene. The pop music, and so, which is something that I'm not attracted to. So I don't really have aspirations to become popular, but I really hope that we'll keep doing what we are doing. So we'll keep writing songs, especially in the Romanian language, together with Maria and also Elena, Maria Droga and Elena Djika. And because they're my very close friends, so that's why I'm mentioning them. And we used to sing a lot together. And I really hope that we'll leave something behind, like a CD or multiple CDs, or put more material on YouTube, so the younger people can have a look, and the language will keep just flowing, and can be used more and more, because I think that through a song you can learn a lot. Because I've learned a lot about the language via music, not about not only about Armenian language, but also French, English. So I've learned a lot of phrases, words, and you get to know the soul of the language, also about the people themselves, because there are a lot of different lyrics when you hear Romanian music from your ancestors, like folk songs that are repeatedly sang and sang, and you learn a lot about the way they used to live in the past, what kind of tradition they had, the relationships between the people, the neighbors, because they're all like stories but put in a song. So I really hope that I will continue doing this, not only in the Romanian language, but also in the other languages, in Macedonian as well, in other languages as well. And my biggest, let's say, wish would be one day to perform with my own son. So that's really my biggest wish, I would say.
I mean, seeing how he's already so musical, I think it's probably going to happen.
I really hope that we can make like at least one video together.
That's so cute. I really hope so.
And I'm teaching him, to sing in Romanian as well. So yeah, I hope that he will sing my songs when he grew up. So.
And maybe you could even, like 3 generations, your father, you, your son, maybe you could all perform together.
That will be insane.
And you've actually already answered the next question as well, which would have been, do you think language and art are connected? So
of course.
I would say yes. Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay, then we're moving into the last questions that we have. These are a bit shorter. So what do people stereotypically associate with Vlach and the Vlach community, and how much of that is true?
I try to find a word that is not that offensive. Probably the other people share this as well. Well, Black people are known that, this is a purely stereotype. All right, so it's not true.
Yeah.
So they're known that they're more reserved when we're talking about sharing things. Not only money, we're talking about things, about food, about everything. So you can say it protective of their belongings. Which is, so those are the phrases that I'm gonna use, and there are a lot of jokes about it.
Yeah.
To be honest, so but I would say that's a positive thing. So I'm not gonna delve in that very much, but I think that Aromanians are actually caretakers of their homes. So they really appreciate the family, and I really appreciate what they have achieved, because they've been, through a lot of difficult times were in the past, where even, a lot of Black people couldn't say that actually they belong to that minority, and that's only a history, and in the past it was like that. And I think that they really take care of their homes, of what they have achieved, and also they're very responsible, like responsible homemakers, I would say. And that's positive. And some people just mix that up. They think that, for example, there is an anecdote it's like a saying, when you go to a Vlach house and they will give you only one glass of rakia, like it's like a brandy, very, very strong, drink, and they will give you only one glass of rakia for health. And if you ask for more, they'll tell you, oh well, 2 or 3, that's not healthy. So you have only one, but that's just a joke. But I'm used to it, and some Armenians friends get offended, some get offended about that, and but I don't. I also make jokes about it as well.
I think even in that story, you kind of have both a little bit, right? Because at the one hand, they're very like, oh, you only get one. But at the same time, it's like, because it's actually healthier, right? So it's like, it is caretaking. It's just in a very...
We don't want you to get sick, right? We care about you.
That's interesting.
But it's the opposite. Yeah, we share a lot. So,
okay.
Yeah, we share a lot.
So what is something that you wish more people knew about the Vlach community?
That they're very polite people. They really share their belongings. So it's not that that's only a prejudice. That's not true. They really, when you enter, a home of a Vlach family, they will welcome you with all their heart. So that's something that I learned from little, and they always have, what my friends used to make jokes of me when they visited my home while I was, let's say, primary school, high school. I always gather people at my home. So my home was the place where everybody gathered, and I used to hang out a lot, and they used to say, Alex, you just open your fridge and you put everything out on the table. So everything you have in your home, And I think that's true. Most of the people from the Vlach community, I think, very, very generous people, very polite and very warm people. And they really love their countries where they live, because Armenians don't have their own country, right? So, there are people who live in Macedonia, in Greece, in Albania, in Romania. So, and I think that, well, that's my impression, that they all respect the country where they live in. They really respect the traditions that the country has, the holidays, the traditions, the songs. Every Romanian person sings traditional Macedonian songs. They like the culture, the traditional dresses, and so they respect that. And and it's very, very, how to say, they're very welcoming, very warm people. And so
kind of make me want to travel there.
Excuse me?
Kind of make me want to travel there. It sounds so nice.
Oh, yeah. Macedonians are like that as well. But when you are part of a minority, then it's something special.
Sure.
You tend to be more polite somehow. It's
also just because it's a smaller community, right? So you have to find more ways of living with each other. Like you can't just disappear like that.
Of course, yeah.
So you already shouted out some Macedonian artists that are coming up. What else is happening in the Vlach art scene right now? Like, are there any Vlach artists that you would like to give a shout out to? Doesn't have to be in Macedonia. Maybe you also know some abroad in other countries.
There is one singer and guitar player from Romania, Sirma Gucci. She has very beautiful songs only with the guitar and her voice. So you should check that out. And sometimes we play her songs while we perform in some concerts. I'm not sure, to be honest. There are a lot of Aromanian people who we don't know that they are actually.
Really? Okay.
When we start talking, oh, you're Armenian, I'm too. Wow, this is great. And that's how we find each other. And usually when there are some gatherings, when we gather from time to time and we perform and things like that, and that's how we find out about some younger artists from Kruševo, from Štip, some very talented people who sing in a Romanian language, and we're very surprised, wow, we didn't know that you exist. And so that's why I cannot say names, but I can assure you that there are a lot of talented young people from our Romanian community that perform music, also art, not only music, like Teano Cardula that was part of the exhibition. And there pretty much a lot of young people that are very, very talented. I mentioned Elena Djika, Maria Joga that also sing with me. You should also check Fontana di Malama, the festival. There you will find a lot of people who are talented. Unfortunately, most of them don't practice music anymore. So they all have families or just found something else. But they used to be part of that music community, we call it. So they've left some songs that we are trying to keep them alive. So most of the time we pick songs from that festival, and just sing it again with different on different ways. If it's a folk song, we'll make it pop, or we just try to arrange it differently just for fun. But we try to keep that alive.
I mean, seeing how you already have small kids coming up to you for the autographs, I think you're keeping it alive. And they can then take it over from you at some point, and it's amazing the way.
And also, I almost forgot this. I wanted to mention a group from Kruševo, which was, I think they were founders of the traditional modern, I would say, Vlach music. They are called Raspani Kruševčani, which is people from Kruševo singing Kruševo people. I don't know how to translate it, to be honest. The people, just the singing people of Kruševo, we can call it way, or Kruševo's singers. Those, so Raspani Kruševčani, those are a very interesting group of people. Well, now they're pretty old, I would say, but their sons, their children keep the tradition still. But this is, as I recall, one of the first groups that I've heard, nurturing, the Aromanian music with, live performances, with instruments and contrabass, and guitar, accordion, and so. And they used to play a lot on the street as well. Well, you can, when you go visit Kruševo, you can see them singing on the street, and it's very, very lovely to see that. So yeah, they were also a lot of inspiration to me. So I've learned a lot of Aromanian songs, through them. The singing people of Kruševo.
It is a very fitting name, I think. That's what they do, right?
I gave them an English name.
Now they have an English name as well, yeah. Okay, we've only got 4 more questions left. What are some of the biggest challenges for the Vlach community right now, would you say?
Well, I would say the language.
Okay.
We were already talked about this. Well, yeah, I would say the language, which is, well, of course, it's not codified yet. So different parts of the country use different words, different, ways of expressing, and so it should be codified, and people should, just to try to find a mutual language. People from the East and the West, and all those prejudice that we have about each other. That also exists in our community as well. So it's nothing new. So I think that's the main challenge. So learning language from young age, start not only learning it in Kruševo. I'm sure that there's some other schools that provide this in some other countries, some other schools around Macedonia. But we should check this. But there should be more, I think. And as you mentioned, your idea was very great about grandparents going to kindergarten and teaching young people about the language and tradition. So I think that's something will be very, very efficient if we.
Because it works out really well, I think, for the sector. And actually, it's not 100% sure yet, but we're thinking about maybe doing one more networking event with RISE UP. And that will be actually for minoritized language artists. So it'd be great if you can also join us there, maybe at some point. And I hope that at that event, people can also share some of their, experiences, how they handle these situations. There's so much that one community knows that the other community doesn't know, so it's great to have that exchange going.
Okay, well, yeah, let me know.
Well, if it happens, I will definitely let you know.
Great, thank you.
Which, again, we have such good transitions to the next questions. It's amazing. I think it's probably because you read them beforehand, so you just already have it in your head as well. So what would be your advice for people interested in becoming minoritized language artists or activists? What lessons have you learned along the way?
I'll be very, very short on this. Just be yourself. Don't be afraid to share who you are, of course. And don't be afraid to perform in your own language. To show your customs, to show your culture. Be proud of that, and because together we can be richer. And sharing all those customs and all those languages from different minorities. As in Macedonia, there are a lot of different minorities. So it's not only Aromanians, the Turkish minority, Albanian, Gypsy, or how you call it. I don't know, Serbian. Well, a lot of different minorities there are in Macedonia, and I think that if young people tend to express themselves in their own language, just to perform their culture, and everybody will be richer. So don't be afraid of that. Even though if you don't speak the language well, be brave, and just try it. I don't know. It's
right? You have to practice, right?
You have to practice. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. And what will be your ideal vision for the Vlach community in 20 years?
Very difficult. There are a couple of questions that are very difficult, though. I would say to support each other. No matter if someone is 100% Aromanian, or 50%, or 5%, if I have something Aromanian in myself and I'm proud of it, I think that the others should support me, and they should guide me. The ones who know more, the older people who know the language perfectly, and songs and other artists that exist that I'm not aware of, they should share that with us. And I think that's happening on these gatherings that we are doing from time to time during the year. But they should be more, I think, often, and more young people should be involved in this. And well, we are keep trying to do that. And yeah, I think that the language will not disappear. So I'm really trying to learn it, throughout the years, throughout songs, and that's why actually I perform songs, and I'm trying to, to communicate with people from my minority, and always be, up to date what is happening. And I hope that will be an inspiration to other younger people as well, to just to show up themselves, not to hide, and to be afraid that they will be judged or someone will point a finger at them, you're not good enough to be in our community or so, because I don't think that will happen. We're all very well accepted. Even I was, as I mentioned, 2012, when I applied for this festival for Bona Dea, I didn't know how I will be accepted because they didn't know about me, and I was incognito, and I just showed up, and hey, I'm also Aromanian and I sing in your language, so yeah, nice to meet you. And they welcomed me very well, and they accepted me, very well in the community. And well, I hope that will happen with the younger people in 20 years, as you mentioned. And more of that festivals will be happening as well, like Fontana di Malama. So it's very pity that it's not happening for many years now. But I hope that they will will happen again, will be organized again, and some other events, as I mentioned. So yeah, pretty much that will be my answer.
I mean, again, it sounds like you're really already paving the way for that as well with your music. So you're actively working towards the future you want to see, and I think that's fantastic.
I hope so, yeah.
Which brings us to the last question. What is one last sentence in Vlach that you would like to teach the people who might one day view this interview?
Well, it is very short. Te voi.
Te voi
means I love you.
The most important sentence, really.
That will be, yeah. Well, in the eastern part of Macedonia, they call it ti voi with T, and in the western part is more with E, te voi. So that's the ti voi, te voi. So that's the difference. But yeah, I would say it, in a crucial way. So te voi.
That's a lovely ending. Thank you so much.